With Black Myth Wukong just under 2 weeks away from being released, we have a brand new and final gameplay trailer that reveals some brand new abilities, new transformational skills, and a lot more new gameplay. Let's have a look at exactly what's just been shown just before the release date. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you do, please drop a like down below and subscribe for more. Let's try to get this video to 300 likes. Let's start things off by talking about the brand new shapeshifting mechanic. This allows you to shapeshift into any of the bosses that we have in the game, or at least more than we originally thought. There is around 80 bosses in the game, or at least 81 challenges in the game's Journey of the West main story. Now, there are many forms in the gameplay that seem very similar to the bosses we already have seen in the previous gameplays. So that goes to show we can actually transform into pretty much, as far as we know, into any of the bosses in the game. Now, how does this actually work? Well, it's actually pretty simple. To unlock the transformation abilities into the bosses, you must first kill the bosses and unlock their abilities. You can either take their weapon or take their essence in order to transform into them. For example, in the Fire Wolf boss, Wukong takes the weapon in the gameplay you are seeing. But as well as the big-headed boss now, he actually takes the essence of this boss into his gourd, pretty much allowing him, as far as we know, to transform into that boss and use his abilities. So let's talk about some of the forms that you can unlock while playing the game. In the trailer, we actually see a few of them. The first one is the Fire Wolf Fire Blade. This one is actually pretty cool, and it's right at the start of the trailer. You can see some of the gameplay right here. Basically, it's a very powerful, very agile weapon and fire abilities that can also be used in mid-air and just have a crazy AoE effect. Seems very powerful and definitely my kind of playstyle. The next ability that we get to see is one of the rock monster bosses. This is a very slow but heavy ability, dealing high impact AoE damage, but seems to be very slow. And the good thing about it, it actually seems to also be immune to electricity damage, allowing you to kill some of the electric bosses a little bit easier, or at least give you some sort of immunity to them. The next ability that we have is one called the Worm Man form. Now, we have heard about this form before, but this trailer shows actual gameplay of it. This form uses some sort of thin claw or sword type of weapon that can also damage the enemies by using poison while also slashing. So you get two types of damage outputs here, slash and poison. Now, it doesn't seem to be the fastest ability movesets that we have seen so far, but it does cause a lot of damage. Not only that, but it can also do some sort of explosion poison damage, which seems pretty damn cool as well. Like an AoE type of move. Now, at the end, we actually also see that the orbs do also get absorbed by Wukong, allowing him to use some sort of benefit to this ability. We don't know anything so far, but definitely looks something kind of interesting. For the next form we have is the Tentacles form. Now, this has some pretty cool benefits. It gives you 2 extra arms or tentacles to use in battles. It can also grab items like rocks to throw at enemies. You have 2 movesets, a light move, which can throw a smaller amount of rocks in a flurry way, and the heavy move allows you to throw larger boulders at enemies for more damage. There's also a spinning AoE attack that can do some serious damage as well, and also in this moveset, you can also jump and slam, causing more damage. Seems pretty cool. For the next ability, this one seems a little bit different to the other ones we've seen. This is a full body transformation, allowing you to be the 2-headed fire rat. Now, this one is actually quite interesting because 2 halves do 2 different things. The left half is a melee attack, and the right side is a fire attack, allowing you to use Dragon's Breath and also a Firebomb ability. Now, in the gameplay, they use this character against the insect characters or enemies, and it seems to do a lot of damage. But that's all we have to see. A 2-headed rat that can do fire damage, and also use weapons. Now let's talk about some of the new mechanics that have shown and just other things in the trailer here. Now this mechanic shows that Wukong kind of sits down and meditates. Maybe this is some sort of like bonfire checkpoint or like a site of grace from Elden Ring, where he just meditates and it's like a save point, maybe after defeating the dragon boss that we've seen in the past as well. Maybe this is what this is. Next up, we do see this fox-like character, maybe setting fire to this sort of like lamp. Maybe this is like a vendor giving you some sort of like upgrades or items or some sort of NPC that you come back up to and get items from. After this, we do see Wukong giving this character some sort of item, and then they start to fight. Maybe this is like some sort of item that you get to learn new abilities, or a tutorial part of the game where you just practice and learn new movesets. We really don't know. After this, we do get to see some sort of NPC painting on the gourd that Wukong does use in the trailer later on that takes the essence of the big-headed boss. Maybe this is where we get this ability from this character. In the next part of the gameplay, we basically get to see Wukong use so many different abilities, and the cool thing is about this gameplay, he switches from playing as Wukong into different abilities, and the way that the transitions are, they are so clean and it flows so good. The use of abilities is going to be probably a main part of this game. This form shows Wukong using a bow to basically just fire a flurry of attacks, allowing you to stun enemies. And the cool thing is, the arrows do seem to also explode. There is no name for this form, and he does seem to be a sort of rat character, but that's all we know so far. The next form that we get to see is some sort of rat wearing a red cape, dancing all over the enemy, and just a very agile ability or transformation, whatever you want to call it. Seems pretty cool, but that's all we really get to see. Now, I don't really know too much about this ability that gets shown next, but someone tries to attack Wukong, and he takes a step back, allowing him to dodge the attack and turn it into some sort of monk. And next up is a very quick one, so we have to slow it down. Right there, you can see Wukong transform into some sort of like a character with a katana and does a slashing attack, but that's all we get to see from that. The next one we get to see here is Wukong dashing forward and turning into some sort of thing that has like a bunch of spikes through it, and at the very end, if you just notice this part, he basically dashes left and the character is still there. And then the character or whatever is left behind does also do some sort of attack as well. Now, I don't know if this is going to be used to really make your character a bit more agile. Maybe there's some sort of like dodging ability to this. And on top of that, it does do poison damage. So that's all we really know about this transformation so far. For the next ability we have here is, there's a lot going on, but we have to slow it down. The boss seems to be stunned, and then Wukong does a flurry of attacks of this transformation that has these green claws, and that's basically all we've gathered so far from it. Does this character stun, or maybe use a different ability to first stun the boss and then do these huge attacks with this claw ability? And at the very end, we get to see Wukong transform into this larger transformation that uses a large one-handed sword, and that's all we get to see from that. And lastly, we get to see Wukong transform into a branch tree type thing, I'm guessing to get away from enemies or larger bosses, so you can just get out of the line of sight. And that is pretty much it for this video. Just wanted to come here and show you guys some of the brand new abilities that were shown in the trailer. Now, the trailer is about 4 minutes or just under 3 minutes worth of gameplay, and I'll show you it in the game, in the video right now if you haven't seen it. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this one, and I'll see you all in the next video. Enjoy the rest of the trailer.